All right, let's dive into something that's both really cool and a potential headache for businesses.
Yeah.
We're talking bills of materials, or BOM,
Damn,
as
yeah.
the cool kids call them. Specifically, we're looking at how Oracle CPQ Cloud's 18B release just changed the game for managing these beasts.
It's a game changer in all the right ways, I think. Think about it. You're a customer shopping online for, let's say, a new laptop.
Okay.
You see options for a business model versus a gaming model, different processors, RAM, you name it. But behind the scenes, those simple choices translate into hundreds of parts, sub-assemblies, and configurations
Right.
that manufacturers have to track. CPQ Cloud 18B just made that connection a whole lot smoother.
Okay, that makes sense. But we're talking about software here, not some magical assembly line. So what's the big deal with this 18B release?
The big deal is that it bridges that gap between sales configurations, what you see as a customer on a website, and those complex manufacturing BOMs. Imagine you're building that laptop online. In the past, choosing an option might have meant someone, somewhere, had to manually update the BOM to reflect your choice.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster. Miscommunications, delays, wrong parts, the whole nine yards.
Exactly. But now, with CPQ Cloud 18B, those choices you make directly impact the BOM in real time. So choosing that gaming laptop with a super fast processor, CPQ automatically starts adding the right parts to your order behind the scenes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But how does it actually work? I mean, the documentation mentions 5 different tables involved in this BOM mapping process. 5? That sounds a bit intense.
It's not as intimidating as it sounds. Think of it like this. CPQ Cloud 18B uses these tables as a sort of translation guide between the language of sales and the language of manufacturing. Let's break it down, starting with the first two, the BOM item definition and the BOM item mapping tables.
All right, BOM item definition and BOM item mapping. Hit me with it. What makes these tables so important?
Well, the BOM item definition table is like the foundation. It's where you define all the building blocks of your product, every single part, subassembly, you name it. It's essentially a blueprint pulled straight from your fulfillment system.
So it's telling CPQ Cloud, here are all the pieces you need, and this is how they fit together.
Precisely. But it doesn't stop there. This table also includes crucial details like default quantities for each item, whether an item is optional or required, and even if it's something that the customer sees and orders, a sales item, or just an internal component.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like the master parts list, but with extra intelligence built in.
Hmm.
So where does the BOM item mapping table come in? Is that where we connect this blueprint to what the customer actually sees?
Yeah, this table is where the magic really starts to happen. It links those individual BOM items to the configuration attributes that your customers interact with on the front end.
Can you give me an example? I'm a bit of a visual learner.
Sure, let's stick with that laptop you're building. Say you've got a configuration option for RAM. You can choose between 16 GB or 32 GB. The BOM item mapping table is where you tell CPQ Cloud that choosing 16 GB RAM actually translates to adding 2 specific 8 GB RAM modules from your BOM item definition table to the customer's order.
So it's like CPQ Cloud is saying, okay, I speak customer and I speak manufacturer. Let me just connect these two choices so everyone's on the same page.
That's a great way to put it. And the beauty of this is that it all happens behind the scenes, making the experience seamless for both the customer and the people fulfilling the order.
This is really making those configuration headaches start to melt away.
Yeah.
But hold on, we've only covered 2 tables and there are 3 more to go. Are we about to get deep in the weeds here?
Don't worry, we won't get too lost in the weeds. But these next tables are important because they handle all those additional attributes that make each configured product unique. Think about it. Even when ordering that laptop, you've got options beyond just the model and RAM. Things like color, storage size, maybe even pre-installed software.
Yeah, those are the details that really personalize the product for each customer. But I can see how keeping track of all those variations could turn into a nightmare for a business.
And that's where CPQ Cloud 18B really shines. Those additional choices, those are our attributes, and we handle them with, you guessed it, more tables. Specifically, the BOM attribute definition and BOM attribute mapping tables.
Okay, BOM attribute definition and BOM attribute mapping. I'm sensing a pattern here. Is it safe to assume these tables work together like the first 2?
You're catching on quickly. You're right, they work in tandem. The BOM attribute definition table is essentially a dictionary for all those potential attributes. It lists each attribute, its possible values like color options or storage sizes, and even maps them to the relevant items in your BOM item definition.
So am I picturing this correctly? The BOM item definition is like the blueprint, and the BOM attribute definition is like the color swatches and material samples you'd bring to a design meeting.
Exactly. Now, how do we actually connect those swatches and samples to the customer's choices? That's where the BOM attribute mapping table comes in. This table is the link between those BOM attributes and the configuration attributes that your customers see and select.
So when I, the customer, choose space gray for my laptop color, the BOM attribute mapping table tells CPQ Cloud, okay, that choice translates to...
This table can handle complex logic too, like using conditional rules to map attributes based on other selections the customer has made.
So if I chose a specific processor that only comes in certain colors, CPQ Cloud could use that information to automatically narrow down my color choices. That's slick.
Precisely. And we've still got one more table to cover, the BOM attribute translation table. This one ensures that if you're a global company selling products in multiple languages, those attribute values are translated correctly, making for a smooth experience for all your customers.
Wow, talk about attention to detail. Okay, so we've got our blueprint, our parts list, our attribute dictionary, and the mapping to connect it all. But how does this actually play out when a customer is building their dream product? Can you walk me through it?
Absolutely. Let's stick with our trusty laptop example. You land on the configuration page and see those base model options, business or gaming. Choosing a model is essentially selecting the root BOM item, the foundation of your custom configuration.
So that's like laying the first brick in the structure. Everything else builds upon that initial choice.
Exactly. Now let's say you're feeling adventurous and go for the gaming model. Based on the BOM item mapping table, CPQ Cloud knows that certain high-performance components, like a dedicated graphics card, are automatically included with that model.
So before I've even clicked anything else, CPQ is already working behind the scenes, adding those essential gaming laptop parts to my configuration.
That's right, and it doesn't stop there. Remember those attributes we talked about. As you select your preferred RAM, storage size, color, and other options, CPQ Cloud is referencing the BOM attribute mapping table, translating your choices and updating the BOM in real time.
It's like CPQ Cloud is assembling this incredibly detailed digital representation of my laptop as I'm making choices, ensuring everything is accurate and aligned with the actual physical components.
That digital representation you're describing is called the BOM instance. Think of it as a snapshot of your uniquely configured product at any given moment. It captures everything, the specific parts, their quantities, any custom attributes, ready to be sent to the fulfillment team when you finalize your order.
That's incredibly efficient. But what happens if, after carefully crafting my dream laptop, I realize I need to change something? Let's say I went a little overboard on the RAM and want to scale back to save some money.
That's where reconfiguration comes in, and it's another area where CPQ Cloud 18B shines. It handles changes with ease, ensuring that your BOM instance always reflects your latest and greatest choices.
So if I change my mind about the RAM, CPQ automatically adjusts the BOM instance, removing those extra modules and ensuring everything stays perfectly synced.
You got it. CPQ Cloud 18B takes those changes, reevaluates all those mapping rules we've been discussing, and updates the BOM instance accordingly. No more manual corrections, no more headaches, just a smooth, accurate, and flexible configuration experience.
This is giving me a whole new appreciation for the complexity that goes on behind the scenes of even a seemingly simple online order. It sounds like CPQ Cloud 18B is a lifesaver for businesses dealing with configurable products.
Absolutely. And speaking of lifesavers, we've still got to talk about option class BOM items. These might sound a bit intimidating, but they're incredibly useful for handling those bundled options that are so common in today's product configurations.
Okay, option class BOM items. I'm intrigued and maybe a little terrified. Lay it on me. What makes these so special? Okay, option class BOM items. I'm intrigued and maybe a little terrified. Lay it on me. What makes these so special?
Don't worry, they're not as scary as they sound. Think back to our laptop example. You're probably given the option to add a software package. Maybe it includes an Office suite, antivirus, some photo editing software.
Yeah, I always feel like I need to channel my inner lawyer to decipher those software bundle agreements.
Right. Now imagine trying to represent those bundles in your BOM. You don't want to add every single software title as a separate BOM item, especially if the customer might not choose all of them. That's where option class BOM items come in.
So it's like creating a container for those optional choices, kind of like a pre-selected channel package from a cable provider.
You got it. These option class BOM items act as placeholders in your BOM hierarchy. They only get added to the actual BOM instance. Remember, that's our digital snapshot of the configured product if the customer selects something within that bundle.
That's a really elegant solution. It keeps the BOM clean and only includes what's actually needed. No more cluttered BOMs with a bunch of items the customer didn't even want in the first place.
Exactly. It's all about flexibility and efficiency. And speaking of which, we can't forget about one of the most powerful features in CPQ Cloud 18B, Business Modeling Language, or BML for short.
Oh, yes, BML. That's where we go from point and click to full-on customization, right? I'll admit, coding isn't my forte, but I'm always up for seeing how it can take things to the next level.
And BML definitely takes things to the next level. Think of it as having a secret weapon in your CPQ Cloud arsenal. It allows you to go beyond those standard table-based rules we've been talking about and create highly customized BM mapping logic.
So if the standard rules are like using preset filters on a photo, BML is like having full control of the editing software to create exactly the effect you want.
That's a great analogy. With BML, you can write sophisticated rules that handle even the most complex scenarios. Need to double the quantity of a specific BAM item based on another choice? No problem. Want to remove an entire section of the BAM if a certain condition is met? BML can handle that too.
Wow, that's some serious power. But as someone who's more comfortable with a drag and drop interface, I'm wondering, is BML only for the coding wizards out there, or can a mere mortal like me learn to wield this power?
Don't worry, you don't need to be a coding guru to use BML effectively. Oracle has done a great job of providing documentation and examples to help you get started. They walk you through common scenarios and provide snippets of BML code that you can adapt to your needs.
That's reassuring. So it's more about understanding the logic and the possibilities and writing complex code from scratch.
Absolutely. Think of those code snippets as starting points, kind of like recipe templates that you can tweak to create your own culinary masterpiece.
I like the way you think. Okay, can you give me a taste of what this BML magic looks like in action?
Let's say you're offering optional warranties for those laptops we've been configuring. With BML, you could create a rule that says, if the customer chooses the 3-year warranty option, automatically add the extended warranty BOM item to their order and increase its quantity to 3.
So it's not just about adding or removing items. BML can actually manipulate the BOM quantities and attributes based on all sorts of logic and conditions.
Exactly. You can get incredibly granular with your BOM mapping rules using BML, ensuring that even the most complex configurations are handled accurately and efficiently.
This is blowing my mind. We've gone from simple choices on a website to this incredibly powerful system that's managing hundreds of details behind the scenes, all thanks to CPQ Cloud 18B.
And we're not done yet. We've still got to talk about one more exciting feature in this release, configurable arrays.
Okay, configurable arrays. That sounds a bit like those option class BOM items we discussed earlier. Are we talking about bundles again?
They are similar, but with a key difference. Remember our software package example. Configurable arrays take that concept further by letting you map individual choices within an array to specific BOM items.
So instead of the whole software package being added, CPQ can now add only the specific software components I select as separate line items.
Exactly. It's about breaking down those bundles and giving you even more granular control over what ends up in the BOM. And of course, the documentation provides a concrete example.
Hit me with it. What's the example?
It uses, you guessed it, configuring software options for a laptop. But this time, each software option selected from the configurable array is mapped to its corresponding BOM item. This ensures only the chosen software licenses are included in the final order, not the whole bundle.
This is a game changer for industries dealing with highly configurable products, like technology or manufacturing. The level of customization and control is incredible.
Absolutely. And the best part is that it simplifies the entire process for everyone involved. Customers get exactly what they want, sales teams can easily configure complex products, and fulfillment teams receive accurate, error-free BOMs.
This deep dive has been amazing. We've covered so much ground, from those 5 key tables to the power of BML and those game-changing configurable arrays. It's clear that CPQ Cloud 18B is a major leap forward in BOM mapping. I, for one, am excited to see how businesses leverage these features to streamline their operations and deliver even more value to their customers. So until next time on the deep dive, keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep those configurations running smoothly.